Hi, beloveds. Welcome to my 9th annual 21-day soul cleansing journey. Wow, can you imagine 9 years of cleansing? Well, think about it. First of all, for those who are new to this journey, welcome. And for those who have been on this excursion with me at least once in the last 9 years, welcome back. So, what is the soul cleansing journey? Okay, and why 21 days? The soul cleansing journey is a spiritual detox, is the way I kind of like to call it. It started on January 1st, 2016, and it was a time in my life that I really needed to purge and reset because I knew that something big was about to happen, but I couldn't quite tell. Hindsight 2020, right? Because what did I just celebrate? My son's 9th birthday. So at the top of the 21-day soul cleansing journey in 2016, I didn't know what I was going to be experiencing in the future, but I knew that something big was about to happen in my life. I had no idea it would have been motherhood. You could not have convinced me at that time that that's what was going to be occurring just a few short months later. But what I do know is that Spirit placed on my heart this need to create a course of some sort for myself. And it just came through me as a way to purify and purge and clear and cleanse, kind of like a health detox, right? Every so often our bodies need to cleanse and clear and do what it needs to do to release all of that toxic waste. And so does our spirit. When we have so much spiritual warfare and attacks of all these, fears that are barging in. That's funny. That word, barging. I don't know what that word means, but that wanted to come through instead of barging in. But maybe we'll have to look that up. But when I channel, this is what comes through. I don't know sometimes the words and why I'm doing what I'm doing, but I follow that a little bit. And as much as possible, maybe not and I should be following it maybe a little bit more. So I'm trying to learn. This soul cleansing journey is about learning to follow that source brilliance within you, within me, so that we can live in alignment with our true bliss, purpose, so that we can remember that life force energy that is always within us, moving through us, because that is divine source pouring into us at all times. At all times. So yes, I will pull my tarot and oracles and still have little, confirmations of guidance, messages from Spirit throughout, but the 3 weeks are going to be broken down into 3 particular topics to move us from our blockages into our bliss. So the first week we are focusing on, I focus on, and if you would like to join me as much as you would care, you are welcome to. Releasing judgment and expectations is what week 1 is focused on. Why? Because we can't get from here. We can't get here from here. Okay? We have to. I had to say that backwards. We have to take the steps. We have to remove what's in the way, because that's actually the truth about our wholeness. We're not really broken people. We have become fragmented and pinched off from our authentic self, our authentic essence, which is our life force energy. And these cards I'm pulling out are from today's 12/12 Daily Divine Weekend Wisdom messages on my YouTube. So you can check out that live unfolding. It was really intense, actually, because my cat, Mr. Grandma Tony Popsicle, I had to cut the video short because he ended up having a seizure, which is, it's a very rare condition for cats to have epilepsy, but that is something that this cat mom, is trying to navigate as well on this journey. So that is also why it's so important. And I love that this card with Don Miguel came out with this cat. Take your life and enjoy it. All the more reason why on this 12/12 portal, all the feels are coming up, all of the uncertainties, all of the, pain is coming up so it can be released. So we might as well start there so we can clear, so we can detox, and then we can replace it with more positive and healthy reinforcements. That is the practice. That's the process with healing. That's something that I have been learning and continuing to try and master and navigate within my own healing. And it's my soul cleansing journey didn't start 9 years ago necessarily. That was a new, brand new, additional next layer of soul cleansing journey. But my soul cleansing journey started 12, 13 years ago. My soul cleansing journey also started in so many ways. If you remember back to if you were to think about your biggest, toughest time of your life, darkest time of your life, I guarantee you that was the beginning of your soul awakening, of your spiritual awakening. And as we're humans, as we're on this human experience, beings, these beautiful embodiments, vessels of source, light, force, energy, in these beautiful vehicles, we're constantly making left and right turns. We're constantly unfolding. We're constantly expanding. We're constantly learning. So that's why Spirit always has me coming back to these soul cleansing journeys, especially when I'm having a really, really challenging time navigating through my spiritual system, body. So just like a bathtub needs to drain in order to refill it with clean water, we need to clear in order to refill with all of this delicious Ace of Cups, divine love from source into ourselves. Because when we do, we win. Love always prevails. That's what this means. Ace of Cups and Six of Wands. Love always prevails. Love always wins. Shift your perspective. That's what this journey is intended to do, is to shift our perspective into abundance. So, today, day 1, I like to talk about our story. That is the first part. That's the first step. Looking at where the stories that make you you, the stories that make me me, the history that shapes where we are now today on this 12/12 portal at the end of our year 9, only 3 weeks away from a brand new cycle, a brand new year 1 cycle. Who can imagine what the next 9 years will look like? It's pretty exciting if you look at the perspective of that, if you trust that love will win. But we can't see that if our stories have shaped us to be afraid of love, to be afraid to believe in love, to be afraid to take a leap into our highest potential. If our stories have been of lack, of poverty, of injustice, of pain, this is the 5 of Pentacles, 5 of Crystals. This is about that space, that shifting. This is the fives are of shifts, the number of change. So you can look at the perspective of your story as the glass is half empty, or you can look at the story that the glass is half full, 9 of Cups, or the and right now, wherever you are, my beloved, you might be feeling empty. You might be feeling alone and casted out. That's what this 5 of Pentacles energy is telling me, that this is what our story has made us feel in this moment. Abandoned, casted out, exiled, left in the cold. And Spirit is saying, if you look at the door wide open that you're being pushed out of, so to speak, you will see that it's actually pushing you into the edge. The edge of glory is what I'm hearing by Lady Gaga. Also, the edge of a brand new timeline for you. The edge of all that you are. You are at the edge right now. You are looking at your story with this 5 of Pentacles and how it has brought you to where you are today. And that doesn't mean that if you're feeling in this state of lack and scarcity and fear that there's something wrong or something wrong with you, if you are feeling in the midst of that dark night of your soul, if you feel like you are in this inferno and everything is crumbling away, just know that what's happening is that everything that's crumbling away right now is actually all of the crumbles falling into place. The story that you have been a part of doesn't have to be the story of lack. It doesn't have to be the story of abandonment anymore. That story served you to protect you in the past. And this is all a channeled message from Spirit right now, just so you know, because this is a message for me too. That story protected you from the pain that you were experiencing before in the past. But what is happening is that that story pushed you out and into a brand new opportunity of a brand new life, a brand new you. And what that did, that leap of faith into this new portal here, 1212 portal here, it's where we're at, leads you into temperance, into the alchemy, the transmuting of this lack, transmuting it from scarcity, poverty, pain, to abundance, stability, ease, fulfillment. And that kind of internal shift, when you awaken to that kind of abundance, it will force everything that is not in that vibration of abundance, of love, fall away, burn away, so that you can purify into this beautiful ace, divine love. The High Priestess is out here, and the High Priestess is the perfect, beautiful person to talk about holding space for your story with radical acceptance. Because the High Priestess has learned to see how all of her wounds brought her wisdom. Maya Angelou says, I never lose. I either win or I learn. Powerful, yeah? I feel that. How can we, that is High Priestess mentality, see everything as an opportunity to learn if we don't always succeed in the way that we hoped? Maybe relationships didn't happen the way that that you wanted. Maybe they ended and you feel like all your relationships have been failures, and you are telling yourself this story. of this failed lover, right? Or why relationships can't work out. But what Spirit is saying is tap into your high priestess and see where those reoccurring records of those disempowering thoughts and beliefs and agreements that are saying you were a failure because your relationships didn't work out are incorrect, and correct them and call them out and say, no, that is incorrect. I'm not going to blame myself for having loved and lost, because it wasn't a loss if I gained more about myself. Even if I lost myself in the relationship, I gained myself back. And I'm hearing Alicia Keys' song, yes, I was burned, but I call it a lesson learned. That's a good one. That's a good one. That goes for all of the things in our lives that felt like failures. Our parental guidance and examples, our teachers and our experience with the school system and friends and betrayal and siblings or money, finances. If you didn't have a wealthy upbringing, or if you struggled really hard, or if your parents were never home, or if they were never happy, or if they were never together, or whatever the truth of your story is important. You still want to honor that truth, of course, but you want to discover the truth in the frequency of the high priestess, in the mentality of the high priestess, because the truth, the high priestess is going to see the truth that's in alignment with what source energy, life force energy. The high priestess is going to see the truth in alignment with life force energy, the truth, the alignment with God, with divine, from the frequency of conscious love. And so, Spirit invites us to look at our story today on this 12/12 portal as we kick off this 21-day soul cleansing journey and get to complete the rest of this year together, doing that necessary, beautiful, soul unfolding work. Bliss work is what I like to call this. Because we are always looking to feel at ease. But sometimes the necessary thing to do is to acknowledge that where you are right now may not feel at ease, without judgment or shame or blame. To just be in that discomfort and to move through that space without judgment, with compassion, with love for yourself, with love for your inner child who is also hurting from those stories. Shifting your story from the perspective of lack to abundance doesn't negate or minimalize the pain that you went through. It doesn't justify any unhealthy or toxic or terrible activity that occurred. What it does, it expands the energy from just seeing it as bad or wrong, but seeing it as bad, wrong, and a lesson learned. Finding radical acceptance in even the most horrific of your story. Not justifying, not putting anyone off the hook, not taking away any accountability that needs to be held. But holding space for it with compassion, seeing that it does not define you. It does not diminish you. You and are worthy and acceptable and lovable just as you are, regardless of your story. That's what Spirit is trying to get at right now. Thank you, Spirit. You are loved and lovable, regardless of your story, regardless of the mistakes you've made, regardless of how hard it has been. And Spirit sees how hard it has been for you, for all. And that's why Spirit is saying what you don't see coming is victory in love. Love never fails. So tell your story. I'm rewriting it a little bit. Or reflect. Maybe let's do that first. Just reflect on the story. And then tell it. I'm going to shift this perspective. I'm going to see that my parents working so much wasn't an abandonment. They were working for my well-being. I'm going to see that, my whatever, fill in the blank. All of those wounds in that story, talk to your story. You can journal it. Talk to your story. Talk to the person that was in that story. And talk to that inner child in your story, because that's really what this is about. That's really who's holding the judgments and the expectations so harshly, that is closing, restricting your authentic expression and truth. And tell that beautiful inner child, I love you, and I forgive you, and I forgive what happened. And we're going to get into forgiveness this week, don't you worry. But, so if you're not ready for that today, that's okay. Tell that inner child, I hear your story. I hear you. I see you. I acknowledge your story. And I still love you. So, I hope that this came across clear and got the message for anyone who needed to hear it in that way. Our Look, day 1 of our 21-day soul cleansing journey on this 12/12 portal, on this year 9 completion. We are evolving. Our DNA is upgrading as a human collective to a higher frequency of conscious, divine, beautiful, delicious love. Let's move in that direction. Let's try to release all of the things that are holding us down so we can be free to enjoy this life. Because we were born to be happy. We were born with the right to be happy, to love, and to share love. Not to hoard love, not to possess love, not to control love, not to own love, to be love, to share love. Because we are love. And just to be love, to take that risk and enjoy your life and choose love over your life instead of fear, instead of anger or resentment. That's what matters. Beautiful message. Thank you, Spirit. I received that as well. And until next time, tomorrow, I think I like this platform. I love Instagram because I can, download and upload up to my other platforms. Thanks, Instagram. I appreciate that about you. But also, we love our fam, our Instagram fam. I feel like Spirit is saying this is where I'm getting feedback more. I'm hearing from you guys personally, directly telling me that when these kind of posts are things that you enjoy. So I really hope so, because I hope it really is serving something for you. Because again, I hop up here for me to share what messages are coming through from Spirit for me as well. And whoever else wants or needs or likes to hear the message, that's great. That's wonderful. That's the goal. That's the hope. That's that it resonates with more than just me, but can be spread out and poured into the collective as we have this beautiful divine overflow into our cups, so we can beautifully overflow into the cups around us. Because abundance is our birthright. It is. So let's move there, okay? Trust it all. Look at this, your story. Trust your innocence. Last message. Oh my God, because we're going through a major transformation. Trust your we are evolving completely. Trust the story. Your story is valid. What you went through is valid. Who you are today because of what you went through is valid. You see, my throat chakra is closing because that blockage is what is needing to be cleared, so that beautiful, authentic you can be expressed and heard. Because the world is so hungry and ready for you to be in your beautiful, divine self. And that's where we're going. Let's keep on moving. We're in this together. Okay? So I hope this helps. And once again, like I said, I already said goodbye, but I'm going to say it for the 14th time. Peace and love. Namaste. Bye.